All right, get ready for this one because today we are diving deep, deep, deep into the world of fungi. And, you all requested this one, so I know you're already hip to the fact that there's way more to fungi than just tossing some mushrooms on your pizza. We're talking about solutions to some huge problems, from cleaning up our environment to, get this, maybe even building better batteries. We've got lectures, scientific articles, all sorts of goodies lined up. And let me tell you, I am so ready to dig in.
It's funny when you really think about fungi, they kind of flip the script on everything we think we know about, well, life in general. We tend to picture them as these pretty simplistic organisms, but then you see the sheer variety of them, the way they can survive anything, and it's honestly mind-blowing.
No, for real.
Yeah.
One of the sources was talking about how some fungi are microscopic, can't even see them, and others are. Are you ready for this?
Tiny.
Bigger than a whale.
Yeah.
Bigger than a whale. How is that even a thing?
Well, it all goes back to their journey, their evolution, right? Fungi have been around for, like, ever. They've lived through multiple mass extinctions, climate changes that wiped out who knows how many other species. And having to make it through all that, through such intense, diverse environments, from crazy hot deserts to freezing glaciers, it forced them to adapt like nothing else.
So they're like the ultimate survivors. Billions of years, just rolling with the punches, figuring out how to thrive. Makes you wonder what kind of survival tricks they've picked up along the way. The YouTube lecture, Fungi's Resilience and Intelligence, really got into that.
Yeah, and when we say intelligence, it's not like how we think about it, but fungi have this incredible ability to adapt. I mean, they're out there living in conditions that would just completely wreck other life forms, even places loaded with toxins that would kill most things. And scientists are just starting to understand how they do it, which is opening up a whole new world of possibilities, really.
See, that's what gets me so hyped. These organisms that we just walk by every day without a second thought, they're holding on to these unbelievable secrets. Like, get this, fungi don't just survive in those tough environments. They actually break down and neutralize the toxins. It's like they're like nature's cleanup crew or something.
Exactly. And that leads us to this whole concept of mycoremediation, which basically means using fungi to clean up environmental damage.
Mycoremediation. Okay, that's a mouthful, I'll give you that. But tell me more, I'm all ears. So wait, we're really talking about, like, using fungi to go in and clean up messes we've made. Pollution and all that. That sounds kind of like, I don't know, sci-fi. You know what I mean?
It does have that kind of futuristic vibe to it, doesn't it? But the thing is, it's actually happening right now. Fungi have this crazy ability to break down all kinds of nasty stuff like crude oil, heavy metals, you name it, even pesticides, which is kind of ironic when you think about it.
Oh, like.
And get this, they do it all through these powerful enzymes.
Okay, hold on. Back up a second. Enzymes. Right, we've talked about those before, but give me a little refresher. What are they exactly, and how do they fit into all of this?
Think of them like tiny little tools, microscopic tools that living things use to basically make chemical reactions happen faster. So in fungi, they've got these enzymes that can break down those complex pollutants, those big nasty molecules, into smaller, harmless ones. It's like they're, I don't know, nature's own little recycling system.
So instead of, like, using all those harsh chemicals to clean up, say, an oil spill, we could use, like, mushrooms or something. I know I read about a few examples of that in the research.
That's exactly right. There was that one study, they used oyster mushrooms, and get this, they used them to clean up soil that was contaminated with diesel fuel. And it worked. They found that the mushrooms actually broke down the hydrocarbons in the diesel and significantly lowered the contamination.
No way. That's incredible. It's like they're eating the pollution or something. I swear, I remember reading about scientists even finding, like, perfectly good edible mushrooms growing on land that used to be polluted. Is that a real thing?
Oh, yeah, that's definitely a thing. In fact, it's like one of the most exciting things about this whole mycoremediation idea. It's not just about cleaning up the mess, but some of those fungi, they actually produce something we can use too. Food, like those edible mushrooms, or even biofuels. Talk about a win-win, right?
Man, my mind is blown. We really have only just scratched the surface of what fungi can do, haven't we? It's like, not only are they breaking down pollutants, but they're also part of these massive underground networks, like connecting trees and plants. Didn't one of the articles call it the Wide Web or something?
Yep, the Wide Web. It's this perfect example of how symbiotic nature can be. The trees, they give sugars to the fungi, and in return, the fungi create this incredible network that connects everything, letting them communicate and share resources. Just imagine the possibilities if we could tap into that.
Wait, hold on. Trees are actually communicating with each other, sharing resources through this, like, Fungal internet. How does that even work? It's not like they're sending little emails back and forth or something.
Well, not exactly emails, but it's not a bad way to think about it. These networks, they're called mycorrhizal networks, and they're like these underground highways that let trees transfer all sorts of things, nutrients, even information.
Okay, now my mind is really blown. What kind of information are we talking about here?
It could be anything, really, like warning signals if there are pests around, or even sharing nutrients with younger trees that need a little boost. There's even some evidence suggesting that trees can use these networks to help each other out during tough times, like a drought.
So it's like this giant underground support system for the whole forest.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And, our research mentioned that scientists are even looking at whether we can use this in agriculture.
Exactly. There's a whole bunch of research going on right now looking at how we could use these mycorrhizal fungi to make our crops more resilient and productive. I mean, think about it. Being able to help plants absorb more nutrients, deal with drought better, maybe even reduce the need for fertilizers and pesticides, and it's all thanks to these fungal networks.
That would be a total game changer for agriculture. It's funny. We started off talking about how fungi can clean up our messes, and now we're talking about them revolutionizing how we grow our food. And that's not even getting into the whole biofuels and bioplastics thing.
It's true. Fungi have this amazing ability to break down organic matter and turn it into something new, something we can use. We're already seeing fungal-based packaging, even building materials. And as for biofuels, certain fungi can take plant matter and turn it into bioethanol, which could be a real game changer in terms of moving away from fossil fuels.
It's just incredible to think that something we usually just walk over without a second thought, those mushrooms popping up in the woods, could hold the key to a more sustainable future. It really makes you appreciate the power of nature, doesn't it?
It really does. Fungi, they're resilient, they adapt, they form these incredible symbiotic relationships. They're like a perfect example of how much potential there is in the natural world if we just take the time to understand it and learn from it.
I don't know about you, but my mind is officially blown. From cleaning up pollution to connecting entire forests to maybe even changing the way we grow our food and fuel our cars, fungi really are nature's hidden superheroes. This deep dive has been amazing, and I want to thank everyone for joining us on this journey into the fascinating world of fungi. Until next time.